We're turning on the recording, and we're going to get started right now. So today we're going to cover the overview of Qvinci, features and benefits, what Qvinci can do for you. With Qvinci you can, and some Q&A. If you would do the Q&A, we have a live chat that you can enter your questions. We have staff standing by to answer your questions. So just if you have questions along the way, just go ahead and enter them in the chat box. So the overview, I'm going to do a demo for Qvinci. We're not going to take much time doing it. Maybe 10 minutes or so. And we're going to touch the application. We'll talk about navigation, functionality, reporting, benchmarking, file health check. I think the accountants are really going to like file health check, and the dashboard layer. So the benefits to accountants. Accountants have clients. Some clients have many files, QuickBooks files, zero files, financial files, and some clients only have one file. Well, the accountant gets a view of the entire landscape of their client base. So Qvinci holds the patent for collecting data and consolidating financials into a standardized chart of accounts, whether 1 or 10,000 locations or files. So imagine that you have a client that has 6 or 7 stores. Qvinci will consolidate that in milliseconds, automating the process for you. One of the byproducts of that, when we're collecting that data from the financial files, and we don't care where the QuickBooks files are. They could be hosted. They could be QuickBooks Online. It could be Xero. Perhaps you have the QuickBooks files. But you can monitor revenue and expenses for all your clients from a single account. Now, the syncing, how does the data get into Qvinci? Well, we have a sync app, and we have an API connection to the QuickBooks Online. The sync app is automated every day. Every time someone logs into a QuickBooks file, it's going to sync in the background without them having to do anything. QuickBooks Online and Xero sync every morning at 2 a.m. So it really reduces the task of going to a client and say, hey, would you send me your financials? Qvinci will give you the reporting from a plurality of files automatically, and you and your clients can collaborate. Now, one of the things that we have the patent on that's really salient is our dynamic mapping to a standardized chart of accounts. As we know, all QuickBooks files probably have a different chart of accounts. You can't lock the chart of accounts down, so Qvinci standardizes this for you. You might have a client that has 30 or 40 locations. Well, you set up a standardized chart of accounts in Qvinci, and as it syncs in, Qvinci will put the incoming data into that standard reporting format that you have chosen. And we're going to show you a little bit about what it looks like later on. The byproduct of this is that you get to do benchmarking in a standardized way, trending, ranking, analytics. It's hard to compare businesses side by side when you don't have a standardized chart of accounts. Qvinci solves this problem. The other nice thing about Qvinci is this. We don't really care whether your clients are running QuickBooks Pro, Premier, Desktop, Online, Accountant, hosted on a laptop, Xero. Qvinci will sync from all sources, bring them into the portal, the SaaS portal, the online portal, which is highly secure, and let you look at them all side by side in a standardized way. One of the byproducts that happens is fraud deterrence, prevention, and error detection. You begin to see things in a side-by-side manner and comparing one location to another, for instance, and you see anomalies that are just a little bit different between those entities, and sometimes that will lead you to things that are, shall we say, uncomfortable. You may uncover things that are intentional. You may uncover things that are accidental. There's a lot of accidents that happen, as we know, with accounting when our clients go into their files sometimes. So I'm going to share, let's hop over to the application, and let's take a look at Qvinci and see what it looks like right now. Let me flip this over. Okay, so right now you should be seeing my screen, and this is the Qvinci landing page. Now the landing page has 2 layers. You and your clients will have the same landing page, but you see everything as an admin, but your clients only see the QuickBooks files or the financial files that they belong to. This is a consolidated dashboard across all these locations, which are contained in as an accountant, my client called multi-store franchise. You can have, as an accountant, maybe you have multiple clients. Well, this is where you create client companies and navigate between them. So a client company, maybe you have a nonprofit organization. I just called it nonprofit organization. Well, here are all these are churches inside the entity called nonprofit organization. And you can name these anything you want to. They can be a DUNS number. They can be any nomenclature that you like to have. So this is how you navigate between your clients. Well, the person that's responsible for St. Paul's School will only see St. Paul's School when they log in. They would never see any of the other ones that are here. And you, as the admin, invite them to join and see the files, locations that they belong to. Flipping back to the multi-store location, I am seeing all these, and I'm consolidating all these. If I wanted to look at Austin, I simply click Austin, and here's the dashboard for Austin. Well, what you will do is you will invite your client who owns or has rights to view Austin to join Austin. And perhaps you have a client that owns Austin, Boise, and Boston. They'll have those three. What you can do is determine which users can see what. And this is really, really important because when they go to benchmark against each other, they're going to do that anonymously. They're not going to know who these entities are, but they're going to be able to compare themselves in a meaningful way. These are called widgets. The widgets can be turned on and off and moved around. It's just a nice dashboard page. Affectionately, we call this internally the coffee and donut page. Get a cup of coffee, a glass of wine in the evening, and sit down and look at the financials. A lot of people, your clients, sometimes are graphically oriented. I just want to see the things that are important to me, same period year over year, that sort of thing. This makes a very nice entry layer, and it runs on mobile devices. So sometimes people are on a Droid or a tablet. It works really well remotely, and it gives them a good landscape, top-level view of their businesses. You see them all. Now, when you want to know more, you'll click the Reporting tab, and this is where you really begin to get into some of the data sets. You will notice over here we have something called filters or properties. You can look at your businesses, your clients, through the lens of filterings. Perhaps you have a client that has 10 locations. They may want to only look at the businesses that are in the Northwest region, which you can create these custom properties. They may want to look at the businesses that are 24 to 60 months old, that do $2 to $3 million, that have 10 to 25 employees. This is how you sort and filter businesses of like kind for comparison purposes. Reports are memorized and stored here. You build reports here, memorize them here. So I'll tell you what, why don't we just run a P&L by all those 15 locations to date. I've memorized the report, so I click the report here, and it's done it. Now what we've done here is these are the locations. Again, this can be any name, but we named them city, state. I'm looking at the financials in account mapped mode. In other words, I put a standardized chart of accounts in. The data is coming in organically from the remote QuickBooks files. The system has slotted it into my standardized chart of accounts, and now I look at these businesses side by side, and as you can imagine, you begin to really look at, start to find things that might need to be addressed. Why is this one more than that one? Why is this threshold so low? Why is this one underperforming? So you at the top layer see them all. Well, there's a lot of permutations you can do here. Let's go build a report real quick. I'll give you an example. As an accountant, you may do things like this, like vertical analysis. I want to compare these locations side by side. So I'm going to build a P&L. Let's build a report real quick. I'm going to build a P&L. I'm going to do it by location. I'm going to do it for, say, the last 3 months. And I'm going to turn on vertical analysis. And I want to see the actual numbers as well, because you can do percentages only and actual numbers. I want to look at all those locations in a standardized way, actual numbers, and percent of total income of each one of these side by side. Pretty powerful. I'm looking at that side by side in a vertical analysis way, one, many, or all. The filters, remember, that we discussed earlier just a few seconds ago, I could filter by type and kind. One of the value props that we have, I'll give you an example and just touch a few of these things, peer benchmarking. You have a client. They have 16, 6, 10, 12, whatever, how many locations. You know, your clients and you can both run this report. I'm going to compare my locations to the top 10% of the ecosystem for this calendar year. Build a report. Qvinci goes and it selects the average, it combines the top 10% in the ecosystem of the best performers, gives the average performance, and my locations that I have the right to look at side by side in a standardized chart of accounts. Well, now I'm getting really good decision-making information because I am seeing how real-world performers are performing and my businesses that I belong to side by side. So you can imagine the use of this data. I should mention also that all reports can be dumped. They can be memorized or they can be dumped to Excel. Perhaps you want to share this with a board of directors or something like that. You can dump it to Excel and do other analysis. Reports that you can build today: P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, peer benchmarking, ranking reports, ratios, sales by customer, AP, AR, expense by vendor on 1 to N businesses, either consolidated or in a side-by-side way. What we have that is coming out is a customized report builder where you'll be able to customize the data that you're going to pull out, not just the P&L, but maybe elements from the P&L, elements from the balance sheet, and build things like budget to actual, those sorts of things. And that is a early Q4 development. For accountants, one of the things that we have that is a tremendous sanity check is a thing called Health Check. Health Check, you click this button here, and what it does is it scans all the files that you have, all your client files. And it's looking for anomalies in the balance sheet, net income, cash flow, AR, AP. There are certain things that should tie or should foot from one period to the next. And this thing has found 30 problems with balance sheets across my client set. Now, ideally, these numbers should all be 0. There should not be any problems. No one should have gone in the first period of the next year and slotted in some transactions. But sometimes people do journal entries and do crazy things. Well, let's just take a look real quick. So if you click the balance sheet report, it says, here's the location name. I called it Orlando. You may call it, St. Margaret's Church, location 123. Here's the company it belongs to. Remember, our company's over here. The month and the year, and the anomaly is the total assets do not match the total liabilities and equity. And this is going to be the person who owns that, who's the admin on that file. Qvinci is scanning the files that you have for anomalies, data integrity issues. Charles, this shouldn't happen. Well, this was done. We actually built this tool triaging a $4 million problem for a client of ours that they couldn't find the issues, and we found them in 4 files out of 86. So that it's going to help you find issues. Sometimes clients go in and they work in their QuickBooks files, and sometimes they make mistakes. This is a tool that's going to help cover your back and make you look good. It's going to allow you to find things easier. And again, like I said, when you run Health Check, frankly, they should all be zeros. You come in the morning, you click Health Check because we synced every night. The data is all up to date. You click Health Check. If you see zeros here, hey, nobody's done any crazy stuff in slotting transactional type information. Okay? So Qvinci is a very simple reporting tool. It lets you see one, many, or all locations. It lets you see how they're performing in a side-by-side manner if you so desire. It allows you to invite your franchise, your locations, your clients, if they're franchises, maybe they're churches. You allow them to join. They log in to Qvinci, which is highly secure, and they look at the locations that you have invited them to join. So it's a great collaboration tool. It allows you to provide a SaaS, online, highly secure solution for your clients to take a look at one, many, or all locations to let you administer them all. You look like a hero. Let's talk about security very, very quickly. We do not sync any fraud-sensitive data such as employee data, Social Security numbers, checking account numbers, credit card numbers, EINs. We don't take that kind of data. We take reporting data. So we're not pulling any data out of the remote files that would be fraud-sensitive in nature. And that, in a nutshell, is a very high-level look at Qvinci at the solution. You can always go to www.qvinci.com and look at a free trial. Run a file free, and you can run this exact demo that I just showed you. So I'm going to click back over to the presentation now, and we're just going to continue very quickly. Benefits to clients. Well, we kind of touched on that. Clients can look at if they have multiple units, multiple QuickBooks files or financial files. Consolidating those files is a real pain in the neck. Qvinci will automate this. We can do 2,000 files in a matter of seconds. Unlimited logins. We don't charge for users. You can have as many users join as you would like to have join. You can have, for instance, sometimes you have a husband and wife team on a business. Maybe they got a trusted advisor. Maybe they have 7 locations. Maybe they have someone who runs those locations, and they want them to see their store that they're running for them side by side. So users are free, unlimited logins. It's an intuitive, easy interface. Anyone can run this thing. It's not hard to run. It's easy to navigate, and people just, the clients just understand it. It's not an overwhelming morass of numbers thrown at them and make them go digest it. It helps with the digestion. Non-financial filters, again, sometimes you want to sort to be able to compare businesses to others. Sometimes there's non-financial parameters. A very brief example. We have a client that wanted to compare the businesses that had 2 drive-through lanes that were open for breakfast to the others, because maybe I should open for breakfast. I'm not running breakfast as an entity, but my peers like me are running are open for breakfast. So it gives you some ways to slice and dice and compare on things that are not necessarily just financial in nature. And the peer benchmarking piece, that's the holy grail. When you can compare yourself to people just like you that are similar to you, it's an extremely powerful solution. One other point on peer benchmarking. You know, if you're a $3 million company, you're probably trying to become a $5 million company. One of the things you can do is compare yourself to the guys that are $5 million and see how they are performing. Some of the features. Very briefly, we're not going to go over all of these. I just this presentation will be available to you online after the webinar. Vertical analysis, comparing standardized versus native accounts. In other words, I've looked at all these locations side by side in a standardized way. I turn off account mapping, and then I can go in and look at it as it is in the QuickBooks file inside Qvinci. We'll show you the organic chart of accounts that has synced over from the QuickBooks file. You get both views. Use a standardized way to identify issues, drill into the actual data into the system in the native chart of accounts. Reporting periods, weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly reporting periods. We do cash or accrual reporting. If you got a client and they want to look at their reports in cash mode, simply set them up for cash. Whether their QuickBooks file is set to cash or not is immaterial. Qvinci will pull it in a cash methodology versus the accrual methodology. Unlimited users, we're going to scan for problems, daily and weekly snapshot emails. I need to mention this. There is an alerting system in Qvinci. And you can set up targets and thresholds. And because we sync every day, on about the 9th of the month, you're going to start, you and or your client are going to start getting emails that said, you know, you said you wanted to do $20,000 in chocolate donut sales, and you're at $7,654. And if you keep doing that, you're going to be, you know, either green to the good, over 10,000, 20,000, or you're going to be less than that. The alerting system lets you do some early warning indicator type things. And then you have the ability to build reports, memorize reports, peer benchmarking, ranking, standardized reports, and the automated data syncing. So some of the things that Qvinci does will, you know, we have a pro advisor who has about 100 clients on Qvinci, and he says it saves in his case study on our website, www.qvinci.com, www.qvinci.com. There's a case study where he saves 16 billable hours a month because Qvinci is the reporting solution. He doesn't roll up reports anymore. His clients will log in and look at the reports. So it's going to automate routine tasks. You don't have to go ask the client to send you reports or send you the QuickBooks file so you can go in and run reports. Qvinci will automatically sync wherever it is, and the reporting data is in the Qvinci account. Web-based reportings, you never know what people are running in the field. Maybe they're on a tablet, maybe they're on an iPad, or maybe they're on a laptop. Doesn't really care. Qvinci runs over the web in a high secure fashion. One of the benefits is you are able to provide advisory type services to your clients. You know, it takes you into that trusted advisor role. You set up a solution, you invite them to join. This is the reporting mechanism that they're looking at. It gives you a way to collaborate with your clients. You're also checking, it's also checking for errors and so forth. So, you know, you really have their back. We've got a reporting solution for you. We've got your back as I'm checking these things and catching basic errors. And the client begins to kind of rely on you, and it relies on the system. You know, you set up the alerts for the client, or they set up the alerts, they're getting notified. And I mean, I've had people say, you know, Charles, I'm on the golf course and I just got my my financial snapshot. How cool is that? So, you know, people begin to count on you and the solution to deliver value to them. So Qvinci, what it can do is, you know, clients are always wanting their trusted advisor to speak into their business. Give me some insight. Show me how to interpret this data. Show me how to look forward. You know, if you look at last year's financials, there's not a thing in the world you can do about it unless you're going to cook the books. So what Qvinci does with the tools that we have and some of the forecasting tools that are coming out, it allows you to see where you are right now in the current month and see what you did last month, compare to peers, and make decisions that can impact next month, this month, next quarter. We offer the account as a way to stay ahead of the curve, so to speak, by expanding service offerings to their clients. It's not just about bookkeeping and cleaning up the mess that you've made in your QuickBooks file. I've got a reporting solution. So it's going to save you, the accountant, time by automating routine tasks. Syncs automatically. It's easy on the eyes. It's easy on the client. Expand your billable service offerings. I mean, you can add Qvinci to your billable services. And what a great way, you know, and a reporting mechanism. I mean, the old euphemism, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Your clients log in, again, like we said, that coffee and donut page. They log into that landing page, look at their data, they're in, they're out, they're back to work, and they're in touch. It's going to increase client collaboration. You can use the tool. I'm looking at this. John, hey, John, open up your Qvinci account. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at your P&L for the last 3 months and look at the trend that's happening in this line. And it helps with fraud prevention. You know, we live in an imperfect world, and sometimes people do things. Qvinci, you know, there's an old saying in the turnaround consulting business: you cannot fix what you cannot see. Qvinci gives visibility to you and your client, and that's where it counts. And Qvinci can be used for single and multi-unit, multi-QuickBooks file type clients. Whether if you have one file, that's fine. If you have 2 files, that's fine. By the way, I should mention that Qvinci does support syncing by class. So you may have one QuickBooks file, and you got different businesses and you're handling by class. Qvinci breaks those things into classes and treats those as though they were separate entities, which is a really cool tool, comparing the classes side by side in the P&L manner in Qvinci. It's a new offering for clients. I mean, you get to differentiate your business from other businesses that are out there, because frankly, there is only one Qvinci. And by the way, the solution I just showed you is the solution that Intuit Franchise Group offers to their franchise clients by way of example. Some clients have 1 location. Some clients, frankly, have 5,000 locations. The customized properties and filters, it allows you to really tune the solution to your client. You know, the business, maybe you have a business that has 4 or 5 locations and they're a smoothie shop. Well, that's very different than a construction company. And those filters allow you to sift and sort those businesses by different kinds of metrics, maybe square footage on a store versus number of times the doorbell rang, for instance. So it's fully customizable, and you, as the admin, get to create those customizations. Custom reports and analysis. We have you can customize the reports that you've seen there, memorize them, and doc them for your clients. Again, in the early Q4 timeframe, you'll be able to do a custom Q4 2015. Customized reports that you can dock on the landing page. So really, really customized type solutions. The other things you can do that you probably are not able to do very easily right now: ratio analysis across a bunch of locations, industry benchmarking coming soon, trend monitoring, show them where they've been and where they're going. You know, Qvinci has a tool that will show you where you've been, and if you keep doing what you've been doing, this is what you're going to look like this month, next month, and the following months. So comparison to top performers in their industry is a way of by way of example. Again, back to you can't fix what you can't see. You know, monitoring, people respect what you inspect. And for your client, it's particularly true. They may have someone working in their system, so the ability to monitor what's going on in that file, finding discrepancies through the health check solution, looking at the P&Ls side by side over a number of months. You and your client will be able to collaborate on that. And sometimes you see things that just don't look right, and Qvinci gives you that easy-to-digest visibility. And again, finally, setting up alerts and emails to notify you automatically. Don't even log into Qvinci. The email alert just comes over and says, did you know that you said this, and this is where you actually are? So it's a snapshot email, very easy to digest. Qvinci's tool is massively scalable, massively scalable. There are no clients on earth that are too big for Qvinci to support. So if you had a client that has 1 location, that is easy. You may have a client that's a franchise or a nonprofit. We have dioceses as clients. Same paradigm, 1-to-many units, but a different vernacular, ties and offerings versus widgets and services, right? Qvinci adapts. So if you have a client that has, 6,750 locations, not a problem. Qvinci can link and sync and report on all of them and give you the ability to manage all of that very, very easily. The standardized chart of accounts is the thing that holds the glue, that is the glue that holds everything together. You know, if you have that many locations, the chart of accounts in those files are going to be pretty disparate. The Qvinci chart of accounts mapping solution solves for all of that. So if there are any questions, again, just stick your questions in the live chat panel there. This concludes the webinar for today. I'm going to leave it live for a few minutes so questions can be posted along the way, and I'll just hang tight. And if somebody wants to see something, we'll go back and show you whatever you need to see. Thank you for joining us today. Have a good day. One of the questions is, does Qvinci perform multi-currency conversion? The answer is yes with QuickBooks Desktop. It's not possible with QBO. It doesn't support things that are needed for QuickBooks Online, but here's how multi-currency conversion works. And we have clients using this today. In the foreign country, let's say that you're in Canada, and you want to report in US dollars. You would set your local currency in the QuickBooks Desktop, any file, to Canadian. You'd set your foreign currency to US. As we sync the data, we're going to use, we use xe.com as the feed. It scans everything twice a day for the exchange rate, and the reports rendered in Qvinci would be in USD. So we support all currencies around the world. Any other questions I could answer? Question was, what if my client uses a different solution other than QuickBooks and Xero? We also sync from Excel, so you can dump. We have an excellent Excel templating tool. You create your standard chart of accounts. You dump it to Excel. Your clients can cut and paste their financials into Excel and click the upload button. We don't automate the syncing process, but as a way to get it into the system. And then the reporting solution looks exactly the same, whether it's an Excel upload or it comes from QuickBooks. Question is about, what about onboarding? Onboarding is very, very easy to do. I have had a client with 49 locations onboard in less than 2 hours. Take an account with us, and then you will typically upload your list of locations, users, that sort of thing. It's an Excel upload. You download a template from us, populate it with the company name or the financial file name, the person who's the admin on the file. Upload them all. It'll automatically be built. The system will send an email invitation to those clients that you've put into the system. And you simply link and sync your files. In the case of, say, QuickBooks Online, the linking and syncing process is typically 2 clicks of a mouse and happens in about 30 to 40 seconds. In the case of QuickBooks Desktop, you have a small sync client that gets downloaded to where QuickBooks is running, and you link using that. That takes about 60 seconds. So onboarding can be very, very quick. And I should mention something about our support services. We have live chat. We have people that are on telephone. So in our application or on our website, you can go get help and ask, you have any kind of question. We have a knowledge base, and our support is always free. Next question was, do we have a reseller program? Yes, we have both. We have a referral and or a reseller program. You as a CPA or accountant can come and say, I've got a client. I just want to refer them. I want them to have the solution, but I don't want to administer the thing, and I'd like to refer them to Qvinci. We have a program for that, and you can find that on our website, www.qvinci.com. Same thing with the reseller program. You can sign up as a reseller. You become the admin on the account. We bill you. You bill your clients. You get really nice discounts as a reseller. And again, support for our reseller and referral partners is free. Question, how can I be sure that my clients can only see their information, not somebody else's? So when you set up, I'm going to hop back over here to the application real quickly. When you set up in Qvinci, you will add, so I added this location called Austin, Texas. I will invite someone to join Austin, Texas. If I invite him to join Austin, Texas, he or she will not see anyone else here. So I could invite him. Let's say he's a regional manager, and he really is managing Austin, Boise, Boston, and Charlotte. I would invite him to join all locations, and he would be a viewer of those 4 locations, but he would not see anything else. So you, as the admin on the account, control who can see what, and there's no getting around that. So it's all under your control as the admin on the solution. That looks like that's it for all the questions. I appreciate you guys showing up today. Be sure to come back and visit us at www.qvinci.com, and we will send a copy of this presentation to all attendees. Thank you very much. Have a great day.